Welcome, MFP community. We have another special guest, JT Kritz of JT Kritz Films Productions Extravaganza exclusive. And yeah, JT gets to be in the, spotlight. Usually he's the one behind the camera making a lot of things happen for this MFP community. But again, he's much more than our video production exclusive extravaganza specialist. He is a decent time member, about 3 years, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, 3 years. He's also a loving husband and an amazing father to Miles Kritz of the MFP community as well. So, again, JT, what we do here before we get started, we're just going to take 3 breaths, get ourselves grounded and into the zone. All right? So everybody just take a moment here to just sit up tall, eyes open or eyes closed, whatever feels good for you, but just making this transition into just being in the moment. And just honoring that we have a member here that made the time, effort, and energy to share his story, share his wisdom, and share his experience with all of us to connect to learn from, and stay motivated as a team. Just having gratitude for all of it. So let's take our 3 breaths. Take an inhale through the nose. Hold your breath. And exhale through the mouth. Good. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Last one. Hold it for 3, 2, let it out. Excellent stuff, everybody. This one's good for JT. We got to calm the nerves, get grounded, get ready for it, all right?
I feel better already.
Coach Joe, give us a quote.
I feel like JT's cool as a cucumber, so I don't even know if he needs that. So anyway, my quote, I have a bit of a baseball quote because I got my baseball guy, JT. Quote from Bart Giamatti, who was the commissioner of baseball and also a professor of literature at Yale. Awesome dude. Says, winning has a joy and a discreet purity to it that cannot be replaced by anything else. Winning is important to any man's or woman's sense of satisfaction and well-being. Winning is not everything, but it is something powerful, indeed beautiful in itself, something as necessary to the strong spirit as striving is necessary to the healthy character. So, I picked this for a couple of reasons. One, I knew my baseball guy, JT, would appreciate it. And 2, it's just cool to think about this idea of like winning in life, because like we talk about a lot how like winning isn't everything, but there is like, we do want to win. We do strive to win in some aspects of your life. So I like to think about it as like, what aspects of your life are you winning in? Like, and if you're not, how can you reach that? Because, we're going to fail at our goals sometimes, but the idea really is to keep striving for them. So the goal is to win in life. It's just like, how are you going to do that, and how are you going to respond when you don't?
I'm gonna bring this to you, JT, because this is actually a great segue for me of how I wanted to start at this. We obviously have our script, but I wanted to throw you off on loop here because we were going to talk about like JT's lifestyle growing up. And when it comes to this idea, and we've been talking about this the past few weeks. Have you actually listened to an episode yet, JT?
Yeah, I've listened to all the clips you're throwing out there.
All right, at least listen to the clips, right? Maybe not a podcast episode, but the clips.
We're working on it.
That's okay.
We'll get to all the episodes.
All right, it's good. Now you're being thrown into the fire of being in the interview spotlight. So, you're talking about winning and achieving and setting goals. And although we're going to appreciate JT through his CrossFit journey, currently right now, I'd say if we looked at the Wadify attendance for JT, it's been struggling a little bit, right?
We're working on it.
Right, he's working on it, but I think this is a good start because reflect on this a little bit. Obviously, we know potentially why this is happening in your life, but how are you still finding this way of looking at this experience, a way that you're still winning when you're showing up, or, you know, how do you still have a positive mindset, even though if you're not in here every single day, and still finding this way of achieving in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I remember, big milestone happened in my life. I had my first baby, baby boy Miles, and he's a year old now, a couple months more. Yeah, so really enjoying that time. But I remember, when Katie was pregnant, you were kind of saying to me, just do your best to get in here, and just, even if it's just to get moving, just to do that would make a world of difference, and it really does. And so, I got a jam-packed schedule at the moment, a lot on my plate at work, a lot on my plate at home. And so just trying to get in here as much as humanly possible has been, really the bright spot in my day whenever I am able to make it in. And so just trying to be as consistent as possible while trying to handle all the other responsibility I have. But me and Katie kind of push each other to try to get in, because it's not even more of the physical stuff, it's for the mental side of things. And I feel that getting into this gym is really 70% mental for me. Of course, I feel better, you're building muscle, you're doing all these great things, flexibility, all that good stuff. But mentally, it just feels amazing when I'm able to get in here, and just going to try to get more consistent with it as, Miles gets a little bit older and things get a little bit more.
Well, I have a lot of CrossFit questions to ask you, but I do think it's important just to get the background first of just like your life before CrossFit, and overall like your journey through athletics and fitness, and what made you be like, oh, you know what, like I'm gonna give this CrossFit thing a try.
Yeah, played a lot of sports growing up. Me and my brother were pretty athletic. He was a track and field guy. I was a baseball and football guy. Played competitively throughout high school, went to LaSalle University, played baseball there. And so fitness has always been a major part of my life. But I feel like in all my different seasons, I'd get in, pretty good shape, work really hard, and then the minute the season would end, would kind of go cold turkey on working out, and then you would have to work into the next season. And it was hard for me to really build consistency. And you're going off of like a football lifting schedule, then you're going to a baseball lifting schedule, and they don't really talk to one another. No. And so it was just like I kind of always felt like I would get in good shape, and then I would get out of shape, and then I'd get into good shape and get out of shape. And then even in college, I would feel the same way. You would work all the way up to the season, you get into the most amazing shape, and then the season would hit, and there wouldn't be as much drive to get into the gym every single day. And so I found that finding this gym and finding CrossFit has allowed me to create a lifestyle that is consistent with fitness, and I have a really good relationship with fitness now, as opposed to going so hard and then it all, tapering off once the season ended. So,
yeah. Well, I kind of want to trace back a little bit too, JT, because I think it's good for all of us to, just understand. The reason why I brought that up was because, like, it's okay to have waves, and obviously JT and Katie are going through a big wave in their life in the most beautiful way possible, which, it's kind of fun that we're all sitting here pretty much all the same age. JT, you just turned 31,
31,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, and so Joe's almost 30. I just turned 32.
With my big bros.
Yeah, JT's, just become a father, and Joe and I are just becoming a father, or going to becoming fathers. So the idea is like to accept where you're at in your life, and also know for all of you, like you're not the only one, right? A lot of people go through struggles of like finding time, finding the energy, not necessarily, maybe sometimes it is finding the motivation when you don't have, a lot of energy to even get into the gym. And just know that like we're always here. We're still going to, treat you like it's your first time showing up. Like that's always going to be our goals as coaches. Like even if I haven't seen you in a few months and you've been going through a hiatus, like you're here, and that's all that matters. And that's kind of comes back to like to the meditation, right? It's just like there's no past or future. It's like you're the here and now. So the fact that you showed up to make that effort, like what are you going to do with this time that's given to you to make the most out of your class experience? So I just kind of wanted to note on that. And obviously it seems like throughout your sport career, like you've had those fluctuations, And now that you know, like, you have a home here for not just you, but also for your wife, Katie Kritz, who's actually was a member here before you, right? So let's go into that story because JT's, again, not the only one in terms of the CrossFit husband folk that maybe are a little hesitant or maybe not necessarily stubborn, but just not ready to like go into the gym, and their wives are coming back home and they're like, oh my God, I love this CrossFit thing. I'm getting so much stronger. I'm getting better. And the husbands are like, blah, 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 blah. You're doing fitness. So talk us a little bit through that process of like how Katie got started and how did she maybe pull you into getting into the gym?
Yeah. So we moved from Graduate Hospital in Philadelphia out to Ardmore, and we were looking for a gym. We'd been doing City Fitness in Philadelphia, and I actually had filmed a CrossFit gym in my past, and so I've seen what it's all about. It was pretty intense, when I was first seeing it, and so we moved to Ardmore, and literally right down the street, we saw CrossFit MFP, and Katie's a lot more outgoing than I am. I'm a little bit more introverted, and it takes a lot for me to try to experience something new, and so she's like, yeah, I'm going to go sign up for this gym and do with a free trial. So she shows up here, and I think the first thing she did was a snatch complex, and she really never lifted weights very seriously, like Olympic-style lifts before. And so she was a little shell-shocked coming back from that, like, I don't really know if this is for me. And so after a few days of her doing it and being consistent with it, I'm like, all right, well, I can't just be a fat ass, I got to go and do this with her. I'm not just going to sit here and get fat. I got a wedding upcoming. And and so, I came in and I had that experience of like football lifting. So like I was comfortable with cleans and squats and all that stuff. And I fell in love with it right away. Yeah. I remember I came in, I was so nervous. I was just like, I do not want to just puke everywhere, but I had such a good experience the first class, and I was hooked. I mean, like I said, it's just a really good relationship with fitness. You guys push us to the point where it's like we're really working hard, but not to the point of no return where you're like, I'm never coming back. Yeah. So I've enjoyed my experience here for sure.
What would you say were some of like the early obstacles in the CrossFit journey? Because everybody's going to face them, just everyone kind of faces them in their own way.
Yeah, I never experienced the gymnastics side of CrossFit. And I remember in the first couple classes, Amy was telling me, we're going to be doing X, Y, or Z gymnastics move. And I'd be like, listen, I just came here to get in shape. I'm not into all that extra stuff. But after you start to learn the skills, it's actually my favorite part of workouts is the gymnastic stuff, because there is skill involved in it. It's not just brute strength, it's finesse and balance and all that kind of stuff. And so I actually look forward to those movements probably the most. They just, when you show up, they're a little intimidating at first.
There's a lot of really cool things you hit on. And fun fact, so when you went to City Fitness, did you do the Thrive program?
She did, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Coach Marco, before the gym here, I had different jobs that I would work through. Lululemon being one of them, right? Welcome to Lululemon, King of Prussia. Hey, listen, I made some sales there, okay? Yeah. But I was doing a few random things. I was doing personal training for the Thrive program, which was actually a great program. I learned a lot there. So that's why I asked. Probably the same one you guys went to. Oh, man. But that's good that you guys like had a good prerequisite to start. And it's actually kind of cool looking back on your journey together, because I do remember, like, we were posting in the group, like, congratulations to JT and Katie for getting married. And, you went through this whole process of, just joining, like, all these new things, her first, then you, then getting married, and then seeing all this progress. And then obviously, having a child and now navigating, getting in here more. But another thing you touched on was, like, we talk about this almost every week, just this whole open mindset to a whole new style of working out, right? And I think it's very typical, especially for an individual who has like an athletic background, to come into this environment and really thrive, like really start to notice the excitement, because it kind of makes you feel like you're playing a sport again, even though we want to work with generally like the people who have never had any physical activity in their life. But I do want you to touch on a little bit more about the skills and learning, because again, that's like our bigger message to the community is like, we want you here to like think about the long term and the longevity of your physical process. And when you learn new things, yeah, there's a physical benefit, but there's also a cognitive benefit as well. And I even noticed with you, like we were just doing parallel handstands the other day, and like, you know, you could have scaled it, but like you were determined to like keep getting more upside down. So keep talking to me a little bit more about some of these, you know, skills that you've learned. Obviously, you talk about like Katie and the snatch complex. But yeah, like what other things come to mind within this journey, and particularly like what are some of the things that maybe like really challenged you, that like maybe even had you second guess the whole experience?
Yeah. Muscle ups are like, I feel like the movement for CrossFit. Whenever I think of CrossFit, I think of muscle ups. And so I have not gotten one yet, but I'm close. But it's something that it gives me something to work towards, getting that movement, getting up over the bar. And a lot of these movements, it's a little bit of fear. It's like you don't even know like what to experience because you've never done it before. But yeah, I mean, you talked about handstands and parallel handstands, and I was with Joe, and Joe demonstrated the parallel handstand, and then, you know, what is it, the negative, going all the way down.
Yep.
And yeah, Joe demonstrated that. I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that. Like that ain't happening. And then you pushed me to do it, and I'm like, all right. And I'm not comfortable being like inverted. Like that's always like just doing a handstand in general is just like an awkward movement to me. But you get it once and you're like, all right, maybe I can do it again. And then you do it a second time. And then now when I like come in, I'm like looking forward to doing handstands. And last night I was trying to do them in the living room. And so it's like, it's kind of funny. I don't know. It's a weird thing. You have these fears over these movements, and then you just kind of conquer those fears, and you do feel like $1 million after, and you look forward to doing it each week.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. And obviously, often a weird question that's kind of a little bit the same but off. But I want to ask you, because you're talking about like fear, working over challenges, obstacles, adversity. But what is something in your life, and this doesn't have to be anything recent, but like I always like kind of like to dive things into a little bit deeper things. So like, have you gone through anything in your life, and it could be like now, right, with your struggles, but like, have you gone through anything challenging in your life through adversity that like really had to make you like look in the mirror about like, have these changes happening, or I have to really face this? And, you know, has that mindset maybe transferred a little bit from everything that you've learned here?
Yeah. I fortunately have not had anything lately that's been like super tragic going on in my life. You know, really blessed with the birth of my child, and Katie's doing phenomenally well, and so feel very blessed for that. But I do look at, you know, raising a child, and it's been a really awesome experience. You know, it's a challenge for sure. There's a lot of adversity that you have to overcome, and a lot of it is just mindset. But I do truly feel that if you do hard things more often, like every single time you step into this gym, you're going to do some hard stuff. You're going to have to work through it. Being able to overcome adversity, I feel like that's helped me in every single aspect of my life, especially raising a child. And, you know, when things are hectic and baby's crying and, you know, there may be stuff going on or messes or whatnot, it's all not as big because you deal with difficult things every single day in the gym. And I know certainly Katie, through her experience of giving birth, I mean, she treated it almost as like a workout, you know, where it's just something you need to get through it. And yeah, so I feel like a lot of the things that happen in this gym can be applied to life as well.
Yeah, and I think what's also important to recognize, in addition to like seeing adversity, is like seeing your own growth. Because like just knowing you over the years and coaching you and being your friend, I'm like, man, JT's like evolved. I'm like, and I see it. It's just like I'm curious. Like, I hope that you see that, and like, can you identify like any ways in your own life that from, you know, when you rolled in here with Katie a couple years ago that first time to the JT Crit sitting on the chair today, like how do you feel like you've grown as a person, physically, mentally?
Yeah, I just think overall growth has been good in here, physically, mentally. I feel like this gym has been a release for me with, any pent up stress. I could be going through a good week, a bad week, whether it's work, whether it's family, and this is always the common denominator. This is always consistent, and it's like, if the past 2 years of my work, I work in the mortgage industry, and like interest rates shot up, and there were some tight times, and it was like a little bit of concern, and there were days where I'm like stressing pretty heavily about like the financial side of things, and it's like, when 4 o'clock hits, I'm coming in here, and it's like you don't worry about anything else but getting that workout done. And so I don't really know if that answers your question at all, but like this has been super consistent, and it's kept me grounded throughout.
No, that's you hit something that really hit home for me, because I was thinking about circle time this week, our gratitude circle, when on Fridays, and I was like, something I just wanted to share that I'm like really grateful for is like the fact that you guys come in here and do something that's really hard. Like, again, 99% of our population, I mean, even though CrossFit is, again, exponentially blew up worldwide, but like still 99% of the population would look at this as like, I can never do this. This is way too hard for me. And yeah, like, I mean, the realistic thing to say to somebody new is like, yeah, this is going to be hard work. And there's a whole spiritual process to how we start to navigate challenges and suffering and obstacles just through the physical experience here that's really powerful for us. And like, so when you said that, like, yeah, just like that concept in itself of like being here, showing up, doing things that are out of your comfort zone is huge for all of us. And I was just like really grateful that like, and I say it to a lot of us all the time, like, you guys really do set the standard for life, for like when it comes to doing things that are, out of your comfort zone when it comes to the gym. And I make challenging workouts. Like today was really hard, and like I'll do things that are hard for us, but I also like to balance it with, like you said, your first experience was pleasant, so like we do want to be able to give you guys that balance.
I think the biggest thing is the group setting has helped a lot. I mean, I was in team sports, working out as a team, and then all of a sudden that all ends, and you're going to a gym, putting headphones in and lifting on your own.
Yep.
And like, it was hard to kind of push myself to the limit just doing that. And then you come in here and you look around you, and you have people in their 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yep.
And you look around and you're like, if she's, crushing this workout, I have no choice but to crush this workout with her, try to keep up. And so, seeing people around and seeing everybody else doing the same workout you're doing is super motivating.
No, and that's actually great you brought that up, because my next question for you was about scaling, because it's a group environment. There's all different levels, and like, yeah, you're like, you're younger, you're a little bit more fit, you have like more experience, but I've noticed with your evolution too, like you're completely complacent with like, I'm going to scale today. We just had a whole episode about scaling and modifying and like the importance. And I think for you, it's like the bigger picture is not just the physical. I want to walk out of here and just feel better. So talk us through a little bit about like how you look at when you modify workouts, even though you want to do the muscle up, you're completely content with scaling, and like how that's a good process for you with like being grounded, dropping the ego, and just kind of giving you that long-term process.
Yeah, I've never really had a problem scaling. These workouts are
True.
they're hard enough as is. You think a scaled workout is a walk in the park. I feel like sometimes if you're able to get more reps on a scaled workout, it could be just as hard as an RX workout where you gotta like take breaks in between. I've been comfortable scaling because in the beginning I really needed to in order to get all the movements down. And then as I've gotten more comfortable and, just a base of fitness, it's exciting to be able to do RX workouts and get up to that RX weight for certain movements. And it always keeps you trying to reach that. Although, Marco, you put some unbelievable weights sometimes as the RX. And I'm like, these are Marco RXs. This is not for the average civilian to be lifting these weights. But
Well, on that note, I actually have a question. So a little bit more of a lighthearted question, but obviously you're playing sports as you're growing up. Inevitably, like as you look back, there's got to be a bunch of times, like when you think about coach is making you do something, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he's making me do that. Is there anything here like that we do that you look at it and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't want, why are we doing this? Is there any specific things?
I don't like actively like say, why are we doing this? But there are definitely some awkward workouts where it's just a bunch of awkward movements, which at the end of the day, it always like, you feel good afterwards, but you're just like, what the hell did I just do with my body? But yeah, the thing that amazes me is that I've been coming here for 3 years, and then each week or every 2 weeks maybe, you'll pull out a movement or contort your body in a way that I hadn't done in the past 3 years. I'm like, where does he come up with this?
It's not like the CrossFit manual.
I like, there's only so many ways your body can move, and it just seems like you always have something new up your sleeve. So I guess that's a testament to.
Sometimes I have a lot of time to be in my mind and think. So,
That's pretty funny.
but you kind of have an idea of how my mind works, JT, for sure, which we'll talk about in a second. But I do want to talk about. I mean, you're an award winner, JT, at this gym, and we have the holiday party coming up. Are you guys going to be able to make it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool. Awesome. So Katie and JT have won the CrossFit Couples Award, which has been a staple award every year. So tell us a little bit about, how CrossFit has actually helped your relationship. Obviously her being first and you being pulled in, and like, obviously it's been a huge journey for you both.
Yeah, I think the thing we really miss right now is being able to work out together, because we have to do the old baby swap. I go to the 4 o'clock class. I'll go home and I'll take the baby, and Katie will come to the 5:30. And we loved being able to work out together. Yeah. You don't really see your partner that much, being able to, push each other, and we really enjoyed that. We were doing that for a number of years, and we'll get back to doing that once Miles is big enough to hang out at the gym. And so I feel like our lifestyle has been really healthy over these last couple of years, trying to get into the gym as much as humanly possible. It's translated into us trying to eat better, cut down on alcohol. And so all those things, drinking more, staying hydrated more, all that stuff is H2O.
Drinking more.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, we got it.
Drinking water, staying hydrated. So just overall, feeling better, mentally being more refreshed because we got to work out. I think all those things have helped in our relationship. And, just making sure that Katie's able to get her time in here too. It's not just her responsibility to be with the baby. I try to take on as much as I can so that she can have her time. So.
You guys have been just a wonderful example of that evolution of the relationship through CrossFit and how you guys support each other. I mean, and Katie's just had an amazing journey herself through, we could even have her on as a guest at some point with her physical improvements. But I just wanted to acknowledge that for you guys, because, you guys that year, especially with a lot going on, and just like how you both made these physical improvements, the commitment, the time you guys were here together in the gym and really expressing that, valuable hour for you guys has been really cool. But I also acknowledged during that award, one of the reasons, you've been in such a huge part of our community, JT, is that you are very gifted with the ability to put things on a camera, film them, upload them to, some sort of whatever you do, and then clip them and start making, video productions for us. Yeah. And that's been quite a journey. I mean, I can touch on the whole idea of video productions here of MFP. Started from the very beginning, and I was very fortunate to know a few people, Jack Caston from Anomaly Films being one of them, who's amazing, but he just kind of grew out of, with his business. And then we have community member and good friend of mine, Bill Cassidy, but again, he's super busy. And so the way you came into the picture was just like, hey, like, I want to help, which is very similar to Joe's experience with me, by the way. This is a very common thing I get in my life, just how my soul manifests amazing human beings. But, JT, you came up to me and you're just like, hey, listen, I see you're putting out these video things, and like, hey, we just love this community. We love being here. And it's just like, I want to give back. And I just like really resonated with that. Just like this homegrown individual who wants to help us and just do something. And so we started with that when we actually did the whole renovation of this gym, and you just did a renovation video. We got a group together to come in and like you got some shots. You made a clip for us, a ton of really good photos, and I was just like, he's the guy. Like there's like, why not, right? You're here. You guys aren't going anywhere, hopefully, for a really long time.
Not planning on it.
And it was just like the perfect fit for just like having somebody consistently bring us these beautiful video productions. So I know I just talked a lot about for you, but talk us a little bit through about like, you know, why that came to your mind, this whole journey of doing video productions, and like, honestly, like, how do you do it? Like, I don't even know. Like, what goes through your mind when you create these things, man?
No, I appreciate it. I've always kind of been interested in cameras and videography, and in high school, I, was running around just filming stupid stuff, and it just kind of always followed me. And yeah, I do some freelance work. I mean, I'm pretty into it. It's kind of like video's really driven me for a lot of years. And yeah, I just joined here with such a cool community. You had some really great video work done in the past, and so I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but I reached out to you and you said, yeah, we are in need of some video work, and honestly, it was the renovation that was taking place here, and I'm like, there's a lot of really cool things happening at MFP, and I would love to be a part of it. And like I said, I filmed some CrossFit videos in the past for another gym down in Northern Liberties. And so that was a cool experience. It's obviously visually really appealing, a lot of cool stuff going on. And I felt as though I wanted to help and I wanted to be a part of it. And I figured if I could help you gain a couple members through good video work, that it would be worth it. And so I love the community. Me and Katie grew to love this gym and just wanted to help. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason why, obviously you're so good at creating content because you're very talented, but also like the other part is that it's genuine because like you are legitimately a part of the community. So like how to tell that story. And I think like it's not necessarily a question I have, it's just like an observation. It's just like how to tell the story because like you're a part of it, and the CrossFit community has become your own. Like CrossFit people only hang out with CrossFit people for a reason, right? It's because we're like-minded. We enjoy spending time with each other.
It took a little bit of massaging because at first, the first thing I thought of is like, oh, dude, I'm going to get these people do these muscle-ups. It's going to be sick, squatting 1 million pounds or whatnot. And so, the first video or two was like, nice and intense. And I talked to you and you're just like, listen, like, we're looking for like normal community members, people who just want to be in shape. And so then it clicked for me pretty quickly that this is the target demographic we're going for. It's just normal people, people who just want to improve their fitness. And so what I try to get across in my videos is that, it's a lot of fun in here. It's a lot of fun working out. It's not super intense. You can push yourself as much as you want. You can reach your goals, but it's not just a bunch of meatheads around you that are going hard. And so I try to convey that in our videos, and just showing that it's just genuinely a good time.
Yeah, dude, I'm super grateful for you, dude. Like, honestly, we're very privileged at MFP to have somebody like you that creates really valuable content. And for all you listening, like, go on our YouTube channel, go on the website, go on our social media, like any professional video clip you see, like JT did that. And again, it started from that renovation video, then it came to like all the open events. I've even pulled you into like a lot of my breathwork experiences, the holistic experiences, and then you just came up with this, we called it MFP commercial. This was actually an idea of mine for quite some time, and we've always were talking about it and making this into reality. And yeah, the whole Just Show Up lifestyle commercial that we put out before the fall was just an amazing masterpiece, really hits on everything you just said. Like, how do we relay, and I always talk to JT about this, like, how do we relay this message of like what our mission is, to serve the mass community, to make things fun, make fitness fun, but learn new skills. And like, yeah, you can make like rope climbing look really cool. You know what I mean? Like all those fun things. And so, but the Just Show Up commercial was about how do we show like what we do in here applies to the outside world? And it's not even just the physical movement of Brendan Vaughn carrying his kettlebells in the gym and then carrying, groceries from Whole Foods, or, Felicia doing, thrusters or wall balls and then, grabbing Henry and just, pressing him up. Or it's something as simple as like when we come together as a community and like, how do you bring that mentality to, you going out with your kids to, Kaufmeyer's or something like that. And so if you guys haven't had a chance to see the Just Show Up commercial, make sure you guys check it out. Again, I pretty much use all this stuff on, on all of our social media and all of my website production stuff. So just really wanted to just highlight that as like how you've been a really big part of our community. But yeah, otherwise, man, I think we're getting close to wrapping this up here. I think what we want to talk about to finish up, and we do this with every member that comes on the interview, is we want to talk about like the holistic picture. And you pretty much did for the most part of, how CrossFit helps you mentally, helps you physically, gives you a little bit more purpose. But let's talk about, this just show up mentality, this mantra, we'll call it, this, affirmation prayer. And like, how does this mentality of like what we're doing here, which we feel like is really unique, not a lot of other places do, but like, how do you feel like this mentality is giving you like this longevity, this purpose in life to just continue to go on throughout your entire wellness?
You came up with that?
What, Just Show Up?
Yeah.
I did come up with Just Show Up,
That
actually.
was
I'm happy
Joe.
to take the credit for that.
Joe gets credit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That encapsulates all of it so well. It's so simple, but it's so true. I relate it back to what I said. You can be going through the worst week. You can be going through a great week, but the common denominator is always getting into the gym, and it keeps you even. And I've loved that experience of just showing up. I remember somebody saying a couple weeks ago that you'll never feel worse after going to the gym along those lines, and that's super true. I'll come in, I'll be like, man, my knee feels a little bit tweaked. Like, I don't know if I can do this workout. And I'm like, all right, let's just, let's see how it goes. You go in, you do the workout, the pain goes away within the first 30 minutes, and you're just like, I feel like $1 million after. I've never left the gym feeling worse. And then, we first joined here, it was really to get in shape for a wedding. And then the wedding came and went, and I'm like, I'm not going to let myself just get out of shape and let my body go. Yeah. It's important to stay in shape. And, I watch my parents and people who are older, and it's just like you got to use it or lose it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to keep lifting weights, especially as you start to get older. Mm-hmm. And I see people in here who are double my age who look like they're in absolutely amazing shape, mm-hmm. and they're doing everything that they want to do. And that's what I want to do when I'm 60 years old, is be able to do all the activities that I love to do and to stay in shape. And, you only get one life, so you might as well try to live it to the fullest,
Just end it there, man.
Boom.
Perfect. Yeah,
There you
awesome,
go.
dude. I appreciate you, JT. You're the man. Just having you as a member, as a friend, has been really great. And I do want listeners to know that you are probably the best golfer at MFP.
No.
Probably. I don't know.
Oh, isn't there like a pro out there, or somebody who played in college?
Not an active member anymore. So
Oh,
you take
really?
you take the seat.
I don't know about that, man. Maybe on a good day, but
Very skilled individual. Yeah,
Joe,
guys.
I just want to say thank you to Joe, because Joe just became a coach not too long ago, and he's been crushing it, and we really enjoy our classes with you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
Not only they enjoy it, I mean, Katie pretty much was Joe for Halloween. So
I drew Joe's tattoos.
So good.
And I have intimate, detailed knowledge of what his tattoos
yes.
are now, because I've drawn them.
JT had to make it known that he played a part in the costume because he didn't
for
have
sure.
his
Oh,
from
good.
before. That was a great costume. So
Yeah.
man, the whole Crits family has been a very valuable part of our community, and so hopefully just bringing you on the podcast just shows that we really appreciate you. And obviously, I think we got to line Katie up at some point here too to give her story.
And get Miles booked in.
Yeah, we'll get
12 years maybe.
Miles will be babbling on it. No, thank you guys. Thank you for everything you do, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, MFP community, you got a lot of things to catch up on. Go check out all of the video production, the content. When you see JT in class, tell him you miss him. All right. We appreciate you, man. So Thanks for tuning in, everybody. All right, we'll see you next week. Back to me and Joe, and then, who knows who we'll have next, all right?
Sounds good.